Hey y'all, welcome back to the Every Shade podcast. I am still in Hong Kong. I'm in a jacket today because yesterday was 20 degrees and beautiful, and I woke up this morning and it was 11 degrees, and I was like, what is this? We're coming down from the high of Christmas in Hong Kong and New Year's, but not for too long because we have another New Year's coming up in a few weeks, Chinese New Year. Because we get two, we kind of get a do-over. So let's say you come into 2026 and you want to right all the wrongs of 2025. You want to have a deep, long reflection, journal your feelings, and then really plan your goals for 2026. Let's say you forgot, you got busy, still hungover, mulled wine, bad choices from New Year's Eve. Or you've done, keto, some diet, and you're angry at the world. For whatever reason, you failed to start the new year off with a bang. Come February, you basically get a do-over. Or at least we do here. Or maybe 1 month into your New Year's resolutions, you finally have an honest conversation with yourself and you realize that all that stuff you wrote down was never actually going to be possible anyhow. And your over-enthusiastic ass, hyped on all those motivational videos with Hans Zimmer orchestra music, perhaps will not be climbing Everest this year after all. Just not this year. So a do-over, which is great, right? Also, I've been seeing a lot of these shorts and reels from personal coaches who, by virtue of 5 online classes and a certificate, can now call themselves life coaches and tell you and me how to live our lives. So I've yet again gotten myself just a teensy little bit triggered. I'm Nina in Hong Kong, and I'm in the mood for a rant. In your story, as much as you want to sail through unscathed, there has to be a moment, at least one episode, one phase. Some phases last 12 years. There has to be a Judas. Judas, for the inquiring minds amongst you, that's the disciple who betrays Jesus. So he hangs out with Jesus for around 3 years. He eats with him. He chills with him. They're basically boys. And then he decides for a little bit of coin that he's going to sell Jesus out. And this is how he does it, which is the really part. The bad guys are looking to arrest Jesus, right? He's always in crowds. So this Judas says to them, the one that I kiss is the one. So he walks up to Jesus and he kisses him on the cheek. The ultimate betrayal, right? Like, why can't you just point like we did in the 3rd grade? Like, he did it when we were telling on each other. No, he kisses him. And so since then, Judas has become, at least for me, like the ultimate symbol of deep, deep betrayal. And what I'm saying to you is this, that in your life, in your story, it is inevitable. There's got to be a Judas. And if for some reason you look around you and everybody is a saint, would not dream of throwing you under the bus for $1 million, honey, the Judas is you. Stay with me here because there's lessons to be learned, so lean in. And seeing as I'm not one to cast the first stone, I will tell you how I am my Judas, exactly how I self-sabotage. It's funny and it's kind of sad at the same time. I have a tendency to work like really long hours, like stupid long hours. I have for a very long time. And this has become a really terrible habit. So I'll work till 2 or 3 in the morning. I'll wake up at 8 and I'll say, but I was supposed to wake up at 7. I woke up late. I'm behind. And then I'll go into overdrive to get that hour that I lost back. Can you imagine the foolishness of the whole thing? I continue like this because overworking is more comfortable. It's more familiar, more known to me than having balance. So I stay stuck in this ridiculous pattern because it's psychologically comfortable. And before you think this isn't you, before you start feeling smug, let me come down your front porch. Let me kick down your front door of self-deceit. Because how else will we learn? You want to lose weight, but you buy snacks for your nieces and nephews just to have them in the house in case they come by. Judas. You want to get your drinking under control, but you have 34 bottles of scotch just in case the Rolling Stones stop by unannounced. Judas. I want to start my own business, but the time isn't right. Judas. You don't want to date toxic men, but you ignore every red flag known to man, including him texting his ex while you're sat there. Judas. You say you want to have deeper, more meaningful friendships, but you turn down every invite. You sit on your couch drinking your scotch, eating your snacks. Judas. You want to get further along on the job. They say, why don't you go to Cambodia, work for a month, cover for the CEO? You can't because you read somewhere sometime that there's snakes in Cambodia. Judas. You want to save up, you want to buy a house, yet every single discount and for sale sign is a beacon to your soul. You cannot walk past it. Judas. I really should have started investing in my 20s. You're here in your 40s and you're still not investing because Judas. You want to stop smoking, but you buy a pack of cigarettes, just to have it because Judas. You don't work well under pressure, but God help you. You love leaving things to the last moment. Judas. But here's where it gets really clever. Sometimes your Judas doesn't stop you directly. Sometimes he just convinces you that you're not quite ready yet. This is what I call what do I call it? The preparation procrastination trap. Okay, so it's a lie we tell ourselves that sounds so productive, so responsible, so intentional that nobody, not even us, realize that it's just another form of betrayal. We've convinced ourselves that it is about productivity or planning or something equally as comical. Everything just has to be perfect, so I'll keep working on my stand-up, but I'll never actually perform. I'll waste time writing yet another list and goals and what I'm going to do this week, and I'll promptly chew this piece of paper and forget all of its contents. Or my favorite, I want to lose weight before I start going to the gym. That's my plan. I have a process. This is what the process looks like. You're going to get fit this year. You really are. All right? You've decided this year it's you. Summer Bod 2026 outdoor festivals have nothing on you. And so you research. Oh, how you research. You spend 3 weeks comparing gym memberships because who wants to get cheated by a gym again? Also, it has to have all the machines, whatever they are, even though you don't know how to use them. You read 17 articles about whether you're a morning workout person or an evening workout person because you're special. You watch YouTube videos about proper form, can't afford an injury out the gate. You join 4 fitness subreddits, right? Because you have to learn the mistakes of other people who've walked this journey before you. There is power in community. You bookmark 47 different workout routines because you need to find the right one, the one that fits your body type, your schedule, your very specific needs that are somehow so much more complex than everybody else's on the planet. Then the gear. Let's not forget the gear, right? So let's start. Shoes, but not just any shoes, the right shoes, for form and to avoid injury. And you read that these are the shoes that Olympians are wearing these days. The clothes, not just any clothes, got to be the right clothes, the moisture wicking clothes. Then the gym bag, not just any gym bag, it's got to be the right one because that could really impact your success. It's got to be one you can take to work without looking silly, but it's also got to fit everything. Then I have to have one of those water bottles that has all the markers on it, to make sure I'm hydrating properly. And it has to have encouraging words all around it. Oh, my favorite, the piece de résistance, the fitness tracker. Not just anyone, it's got to be the right tracker because you read somewhere that some aren't so accurate in measuring your anaerobic versus intensive zones. Then the meal prep containers because you'll need those too. The blender for the protein shakes. Then the actual protein powder, 3 different kinds because, the magazine said that this one was the best one this year and then last year this one was the best one. And you know what you've done in all of this? 0 workouts, like not one, not a squat, not a curl, except for that time you were researching form. But it feels like progress, doesn't it? It feels like you're actually doing something. You're being proactive. Oh, God. You're taking it seriously. You're not one of these people who just dives in unprepared. No, you're doing this right. Yeah, that's you. Except you're not doing it at all. You're not doing anything, sweet pea. You're preparing to prepare. You're getting ready to get ready. And your Judas, your sneaky, comfortable, familiar, let me kiss you on both cheeks, Judas, is whispering in your ear. You cannot start until everything is perfect. Why does Judas have an accent? Okay, I don't know. You can't possibly begin until you have the right plan, the right equipment, the right knowledge, the right conditions. And conveniently, magically, mysteriously, the conditions are never quite right. Never quite perfect. And before some of you with that 6 a.m. gym habit get smug, let me come down your front door too. Remember the language learning app subscription, that you've had for 18 months and you still know just the same 3 words you knew from that one time you went to Barcelona? Yeah. Those of us who've brought every productivity system known to humanity, bullet journals, to-do lists, to-don't lists, apps, planners, the whole arsenal. And we still accomplish nothing. Why? Because we're too busy setting up the system to actually use it. People who spend 400 quid on running gear and you haven't run once in 6 months. Why? Because you're still figuring out the right training plan. Am I running, walking, running, walking, then running? Or is it the other way around? God forbid I injure myself before I actually start running, right? Those who want to, you want to set up your hustle, you want to set up your side hustle, right? But you never get past talking about it with your friends. The preparation becomes the project, the getting ready becomes the goal, and you start to actually mistake the shopping cart for the journey, for transformation. We get ourselves into these crazy hamster wheels that are designed to betray us, make us not achieve the thing we claim that we want. And the heathen amongst you are thinking, oh, it must be great exercise, Nina, getting on that high horse every morning. So let me go down my own front door for a minute, because I do this too. Okay, I buy notebooks, beautiful, expensive notebooks for journaling, because I think journaling is helpful for my mind, for writing, for tracking my goals. And you know what's in all my beautiful books? 15 to 13 amazing pages. The rest is blank, pristine, waiting for the perfect moment when I have the perfect thoughts to put in my perfect little notebook with my perfect little pen. It's madness. And the ridiculous thing about perfect is, honey, it does not exist. And your Judas knows this. Your Judas is counting on this bit of information, right? Because as long as you're in preparation mode, doop, 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 you never have to face the actual work. You never have to confront whether you'll succeed or fail. Whether you'll drop 10 pounds, stop smoking, apply for the promotion, emigrate to that country, eat broccoli, learn to sew, speak Mandarin, ride a bicycle, whatever the thing it is you're trying to do, you'll never have to be uncomfortable or bad at something or struggle through the awkward beginning phase when you suck ass, where you don't know what you're doing and it feels like nothing is changing and this crap really doesn't work. Preparation feels safe. Preparation feels productive. Preparation gives you that dopamine hit of doing something without any risk of actually doing it at all. And the real tragedy, the real betrayal, the Judas kiss. You genuinely think that you're being responsible. You genuinely think that this is what success looks like. You've convinced yourself that people who just start without all this preparation, they're reckless, they're impulsive, they're doomed to fail. They're stupid, presumptuous, and don't have a real respect for this task that you are taking on. You are being smart. You're being strategic. That's you, all the way strategic. But you're not. You're not. You're just being scared. And you're using preparation as a shield against the terror of actually trying and maybe sucking for a while at something. Because here's what happens when you actually start. The truth, not the coach version. You might fail. You might be bad at it. You might fall over a lot. You might look stupid. You might suck. The thing might actually get worse. The scale might actually start going in the wrong direction. The side hustle might actually tank. The 5-minute daily meditation might actually give you low-grade anxiety. You might waste money on the wrong approach. You might discover that you actually don't even like the thing you thought you wanted. I don't like walking. You might have to adjust. You might have to pivot. You might have to be uncomfortable to be a beginner in front of people, to not be awesome in front of people, to be vulnerable, to be the noob, to not know how in front of people. And that's terrifying, especially when you're above 20. I get that. Homer Simpson once said, the first step to failing is trying. So instead, we stay in the preparation phase forever, where it's safe, where you can't possibly fail because you haven't ever really started, where you can't say the diet, the gym didn't work, the patches, the lessons, the group, the resume, the meditation app, it just, whatever it is, it just didn't work. Where you can maintain the fantasy that you're the kind of person who does these things without ever having to actually be that person. Your Judas doesn't need 30 pieces of silver. Your Judas just needs the promise that if you prepare a little bit more, research a little bit more, wait until the conditions are just a little bit more perfect, then you'll be ready. Then you'll start. Then you'll become the person you've been promising yourself you'll become. But 2026 is here. And then next month, it'll be Chinese New Year, your do-over month. And the year after that, another January, another February, another chance, another opportunity to prepare. Or stay with me here. You could just start, not perfect, not 100% researched, wrong clues, wrong plan, marginal idea what you're doing. Just begin. But that would require getting rid of your Judas, and he's like your BFF now. The other thing that's interesting is that when we're not preparing to prepare, we've got our excuses. We get them organized, so we can justify these things to ourselves sometimes. We've got excuses filed alphabetically, cross-referenced, ready to deploy even before a person asks. We've got excuses for every occasion, every goal, everything we claim we want, but somehow have not yet achieved. We are too busy. I'm too busy to meditate, I just can't sit still. I'm too busy working to exercise. I'm too busy corralling the kids to make any meaningful friendships. I'm too busy cleaning the house to go on date night. I'm too busy doing X to do Y. I'm too busy on my job to start a side hustle. I'm not sure if you've heard the saying, but it says, I'm probably misquoting, but you're too busy chasing cows to build a fence. That's us, you know? And yet you expect yourself to succeed in making all of these life changes in 2026 without designating any time or mental space to accomplish them. If that's not self-sabotage, what the hell is? And if we don't have a ready excuse, we just externalize responsibility, which is blame other people or other circumstances. Think about it. I'd eat better if healthy food wasn't so expensive. Meanwhile, honey, you're spending 40 pounds a week at Pret. You have a coffee subscription that costs more than a gym membership. You ordered takeaway 3 times last week because you are too tired to cook. Why am I doing accents? I don't understand. And each of these meals costs more than a week of vegetables. But the excuse is legitimate, surely, Nina. Have you been to Whole Foods recently? Funny story. The last time I went to Whole Foods, I spent 200 United States dollars, and I came out with one bag. One bag. 200 actual US dollars. So it sounds reasonable. Food prices are high. It's not technically a lie. It's just not the actual reason. The reason is that eating better requires planning. It requires effort. Maybe it requires you to go further, go to the wet market, go to the farmer's market, wake up earlier on Saturday. You have to be more imaginative with your cooking. You have to do something different than what's comfortable. But we can't say that. So we blame the economy, and every rational person, myself included, will agree with you. I'd exercise if I had the time. Would you though? Because you found 90 minutes yesterday to scroll through TikTok. You found time for that 2-hour Netflix binge on Sunday. You spent 45 minutes this morning reading the news and getting violently angry about something you can't control and actually won't do anything about. Honey, you've got time. You've just decided consciously or unconsciously that, exercise is just not the priority. Netflix is. Because you want to be able to go into work on Monday and talk about this show like you are a paid member of cast. We can't admit that either, so we blame time or lack of time. Another example, and I know that in this climate, this one is going to be sensitive at. So I'd save money if I earn more. Okay. Except that 3 years ago, you did earn more. You did kind of, didn't you? You got the raise, you got the promotion, and you know what happened to your savings account? Nada. Nothing. Niet. Like zero. Still in there is the 96p or whatever the minimum amount that's required to keep the account open, because you know what? Lifestyle inflation matched your income increase pound for pound. The nicer flat, the one by the river, the better car that's not so gas efficient, but you really like how the seats feel, toasty butt. The extra subscriptions because that one show is only on Disney Plus. The upgraded holidays because you know what? Butlins is now beneath you. You earn more, you spent more, and your savings stayed exactamundo the same. Exactamundo is Spanish for exactly. Maybe not. That excuse of if I just earn more, it protects you from the harder truth. Okay? Us, because I'm in this. You're choosing comfort over savings. You're choosing the appearance of success over actual financial security. You look good. Because you like the look on your friends' faces when they come round to the new flat, they see the new car, they catch a glimpse of your tanned body on this much nicer holiday. And that's a harder conversation to have with yourself. It's honest, but it's a harder conversation. People are asking, how do I save money? While simultaneously explaining why you can't possibly cut any of your 3 streaming services, can't possibly make coffee at home, can't possibly shop anywhere but at Whole Foods because you prioritize quality. These excuses sound legitimate because they're based on partial truths. Healthy food can be expensive. Hell yeah. Time is limited. More money would make saving easier. Yes, preach. But these are not the actual obstacles. That's the story that we tell ourselves so we don't have to face the real obstacle. Us. Our choices. Our priorities. Our willingness to be uncomfortable for a minute in service of our supposed goals. Our Judas. And here's where your Judas really shows up, You never actually even test these excuses. You never even actually try. I'd exercise if my husband helped more with the kids. Okay, all right, cool, sweet. Have you articulated that to him? Have you actually tried to carve out exercise times each week? Have you had an actual conversation where you say, hey, well, maybe not like that. That's not how you talk to your husband. I need you to take the kids anywhere on Saturday mornings because I need to go for a run. Or are you just sitting there silently resenting him for not reading your mind, using his failure to telepathically understand your needs as justification for why you can't take care of yourself? Ooh, that's too much. Okay, next one. I'd eat better if I didn't have to cook for my picky kids. Right. So they decide what you eat, the 4-year-old with a Lego up his nose and the 7-year-old. And you're saying, Nina, you don't have kids. You don't know. Right. But have you tried meal prepping just your lunch? Have you even made one healthy meal a week just for you? Or are you using their pickiness as a blanket excuse to never make different choices, even the choices that don't involve them at all? Next one. I'm getting too sensitive. I'd have better relationships and friendships if people weren't so flaky these days. Okay, fair enough. Don't get me wrong. We are the flaky generation, sure. But baby, you turned down the last 3 invites. You canceled plans because you weren't feeling it. You got 37 unread messages from people reaching out that you haven't responded to because you'll do it later when you have more energy. But somehow everybody else is the flaky one. You never initiate. You never plan a meetup, but you expect to always be magically invited out and maintain the option to opt out. If there wasn't such a strong drinking culture at work, I'd be able to cut down. If the doctors weren't so far away, I'd have done my health check by now. If my boss wasn't such a I'd be further along in my career. The Judas move here is genius, and I would commend it if it wasn't still self-sabotage. You maintain the illusion of wanting change. You talk about wanting change. You make resolutions about change. You post it on social media. Your commitment to change. This is my year. With a picture of a dog because, that is the animal that I think signifies commitment. But you also keep a mental catalog of all the external obstacles that sound legitimate enough that you never have to face the truth. I'll say it again for those at the back. You are choosing the comfort of complaint over the discomfort of change. Excuses, they're comfortable. My God, do we like them? Snuggle in. They let you off the hook. They protect your self-image as someone who would do the thing if only circumstances were different. They let you maintain the lifestyle of who you would be in an alternate universe where everything was easier, where you had more time, more money, more support, more energy. The perfect you if only all of life would just comply. Unless you've just been through the Stargate, this isn't an alternate universe. This is the only one you've got, sweet pea. And your husband isn't going to magically start reading your mind, and you're not going to suddenly inherit time that you didn't have before. And healthy food prices aren't going to plummet. Or are they? And your kids aren't going to stop being picky. Your friends are not going to stop being flaky. Your boss is not going to stop being a nightmare. So you can keep the excuses, keep the entire Rolodex. Explain what a Rolodex is. Forget it. You can keep flipping through it every time you fail to show up for yourself, finding the perfect justification for why this time doesn't count, why this week just wasn't the right week to start, and 2025 wasn't the best year to begin, why this failure isn't really your fault, why you'll definitely do better when circumstances magically align, or the terrifying option, just cut your Judas loose. Let go of the excuses. Don't overinflate the obstacles. Look at your list of goals for 2026 and ask yourself, for every single thing on this list, climbing Kilimanjaro, learning Swahili, the getting in shape, stopping smoking, because it is killing you and us. The 2 drinks a week, max, I swear. The learn to drive, the finish that degree, take the bicycle to work, the down payment on the house, the start the side hustle so I can quit my job, all of it. Am I actually willing to do what's required? The cutting down, the saying no, the self-denial, the getting up even when it is raining. Whatever is required, am I going to do it? Not what's required in a perfect world. What's required in this world? This one right here. With this schedule, with this budget, with this body, with this family, with these circumstances. Because, sweet pea, if the answer is no, if you're not actually willing to ask for help, set boundaries, make different choices, be uncomfortable, then maybe the goal isn't the goal. And maybe it's time to tell a different story. Oh, here's a wild thought. Maybe it's time to stop telling stories altogether. Just do something, even one small thing, even badly, without all the excuses lined up to explain why it won't work. But that would require admitting that the biggest obstacle between you and your goals is not circumstances. It's you. It's maybe always been you. Ouch, 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 ouch. Oof. Oh. But why? Why would I do this, Nina? Why would I self-sabotage? Why am I the Judas in my life when I want so much to succeed? It makes no sense, right? I want the job. I want to get the house. I want to get healthy. I want to start the business and quit this shitty job. I want these things. So why the hell would I sabotage myself? Not likely, Nina. That is nonsense. Fair enough. Okay. I think we rage against the idea of self-sabotage because who wants to take full responsibility for everything going on and not going so right in their lives? Who wants to say the reason that thing, that job, that relationship, that conversation blew up was me? I set myself up. And we do this for a number of reasons, I'm sure, huh? Insecurity, a desire to be in control, a fear of success. You hear people say, oh, you're afraid of succeeding at the job or the relationship, so you sabotage it. Just when things are going tickety-boo, your Judas peeks his little head out and kiboshes the whole thing. Or no, you're insecure. You have some self-limiting beliefs. There are probably a barrage of reasons, but let's get practical because how else will we learn? The list of things it is you've written down to accomplish in 2026, to do better, faster, more efficiently, more honestly. When you look at that list and you take a hard look at yourself, your habits, your patterns from previous years, ask yourself this. Is that list staring at you like a creature from the Black Lagoon? Is it causing a small pit at the base of your stomach, causing you gastric distress? When you consider it in light of your actual ability to achieve all this, given what you're now admitting about yourself. If so, maybe we need a pause. Don't rip the list apart. Maybe we just need to make a few tweaks this year, as to how we take it on, okay? And here's what I'm saying to myself as I head into this do-over season. I've got to acknowledge the truth first. The very ugly possibility that the reason certain things may not have worked out for me in 2025, that I didn't achieve certain things, the reason may be me. And that's a difficult, almost impossible thing for some of us to own, but that's exactly what we need to do, to own it. You can't get rid of your Judas without owning it. Firing your Judas means that admitting the biggest obstacle to some of the things that you want has been you. Oh, that burns. It means giving up the excuses, the preparation, performance, the comfort of complaining, the right you have maintained to moan about something and still do nothing about it, the right you've maintained to blame somebody else. So we need a change of mindset, before we take on 2026. We need to change our minds a little bit, maybe a lot. And I know that that's not easy. And maybe this is the assignment. Maybe just one thing. Pick one thing on that list, just one. Not all of it, because that's also preparation trap. Just one, and see if you can catch yourself in the act. See if you can hear that whisper, you're not ready. No. I'm going to buy a bicycle, and Joey from next door is going to teach me how to ride it. But it's winter. But it's cold. So what? Joey's only free from 2 to 3. I'll make time. I'm not sure I can. Screw it. Catch yourself in the conversation mid-flow. I want to start writing short stories, but I don't have time. I'll wake up 20 minutes earlier. I need to take another course. No, you don't. You've had 4. I need a new laptop. Honey, stop. Catch yourself and do the thing anyway, badly, messily, without permission, and just see what happens when you stop betraying yourself with a kiss. And because I know most of us won't, I guess my encouragement to myself today is, if you follow the whole story through, after the kiss, the betrayal, and some really painful bits, the story actually turns out pretty good.